Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This video is going to be about how to make mirror reflections on water. Mirror reflections happen when water is really smooth and reflects things around it in a clear image. When making water reflections, you need to keep in mind where your horizon line is in your picture. The horizon line in your picture is where the ground would end if the landscape was completely flat. Everything below the horizon line is land that is coming forwards towards the viewer, and everything above the horizon line is either sky or land going up. Many beginning artists make the mistake of drawing reflections without keeping in mind the depth of the landscape. The most common mistake is drawing what is above a given surface of water in an exact mirror image. Exact mirrored reflections only happen when the water goes right up to the horizon line. This is because any land above this type of water is either on or above the horizon line. This means that the land is only going up, not forward. Therefore, it has no depth. The more things you have below a horizon line, the more depth your image will have. The closer things get, the farther down their base will rest below the horizon line. Making an exact flipped image reflection for landscapes with this type of depth will make it look like the landscape is a giant painting being held up to the water instead of an actual landscape with true dimension. Since paintings are straight, you also can't have curved banks using this technique, since doing true flipped image reflections on something curved will cause weird empty spaces. The correct way to do mirror reflections is to mirror each individual object from where they hit the horizontal plane. This will cause closer things to shift higher in the water's reflection. You can see that in this picture, this tree's reflection is taller in comparison to the reflected mountain than the actual tree and mountain. This is because the tree is mirrored in a lower place than the mountain is mirrored at. You can also see in the reflection that the closer mountain has shifted up over the distant blue mountains to where you can't even see them. This is also due to the effects of distance and depth. Having things mirrored from where they hit the horizontal plane also causes things low to the ground to not be reflected. An example of this would be this bright green grass in this area. If this was a painting of some grass and someone was holding up that painting to the water's surface, then this grass would be reflected. But since I want the reflection to be like the grass is moving back across the landscape instead of up in a painting, anything that is level or below the level of the reflecting water will not be seen in the water's reflection. This will give the impression of an actual flat piece of land. The last thing I want to cover is how to reflect objects that are not connected to the ground. If something is not connected to the ground, then you will need to draw a line down to the place that you want it to be above in order to know how to reflect it. If I want this bird to be a large bird that is flying over this section of grass, then I will need to draw a straight line down to the section of grass and then mirror both my bird and line upside down. This will cause the bird to be reflected in the middle of this lake. If I want the bird to be a medium-sized bird flying over this part of the lake, then I would draw a line from the bird down to that point and mirror my line and bird. This would make my bird's reflection almost off the page. And if I wanted my bird to be a small bird flying really close to the viewer, then the bird's reflection in this case would not even be seen in the frame of the picture. There are many ways to do mirror reflections on water. What you do will simply determine the reality and depth of your landscape. I hope this helps you in creating your own art. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comments below. See you next time!